Well, if you want to know who the traitors in this country are, well, according to the Liberals, you don't need to know. And by the way, boo hoo for wanting to know. Hello, I'm Adrienne Batra. With me are Warren Kinsella and Brian Lilley. Well, Warren, we have one Liberal MP who sits at committee and denies the release of the names of the number of Canadian parliamentarians who apparently have been acting in a treasonous way against our country. The Liberals don't want to release the names, but the Liberal MP says to the Conservatives, boo hoo. I mean, this is the level that we have come to when it comes to this very important issue on foreign interference.
Yeah, the O'Connell has become the Marjorie Taylor Greene of Canada, denying foreign interference and making fun of it. And I think she's now signed her own death warrant politically in the next election, because this one is everywhere, because it's outrageous. We now know there are traitors in our midst, as they say.
Yeah.
We've got members of parliament who not only received the support of foreign entities like China, they were actually cooperating and conspiring with those foreign entities. And her response is boo-hoo. And it's like, no, that's not the right response. Shame on you for saying something so juvenile and so unhelpful. We need to know who the names are.
Yeah. Well, Brian, no one had really known who this MP was, O'Connell, until perhaps the last 24 hours, other than the people that maybe have voted for her. But they sure as heck know her name now, and for all the wrong reasons. I want to just step back for a moment from that, quite frankly, stupid comment that she made in committee and talk to the broader issue of what's unfolding here. We have allegations that a number of Canadian parliamentarians, maybe senators, have participated in giving a foreign adversary information and sharing Canadian information, Canadian intellectual property. Yet we are not in a position to know who these people are, be it Conservative, be it Liberal. We need to know this, do we not?
Well, I think we do. And just to talk about O'Connell quickly, I was showing people the front page after you posted it online the other day, Adrienne, and I said she'll never forget her first time on the front page of the Toronto Sun. And I don't think she'll
for all the wrong
it.
reasons. That's right.
Look, you've got Conservative MPs saying that the name should be released. You've got New Democrat MPs saying the name should be released. The Bloc, you've got some Liberals saying, well, some of the names should be released, like the former parliamentarian. You've got the Globe and Mail, the Toronto Star, the Toronto Sun, obviously. We were first out of the gate on this. Release the names. Yeah. And the only people that don't think we should release the names are the Trudeau Liberals. We know that there are Conservatives who were part of, remember that reporting about there were 11 candidates? We don't know how many of the 11 were elected. 11 candidates in one of the elections where the Chinese consulate here in Toronto was trying to assist them. Well, Pierre Poilievre knew that at least 4 of those candidates were Conservative. He still called for a public inquiry. He knows that there's going to be Conservatives who are somehow mixed up in this. He is still calling for the names to be released. The only people that think we don't deserve to know before we cast our ballot in the next election are the Trudeau Liberals. Now, they're making an argument that, well, we have to let the RCMP do their job. I'm sorry. Dudley Do-Right's not going to ride in on his horse and solve this one. The RCMP takes far too long. The Liberals have admitted that the nexus between intelligence and criminal charges, it's too difficult to get across that. Well, if there probably won't be charges, we still need to know who's cooperating with and operating and spying on fellow MPs, who's working with the foreign governments. Otherwise, as several parliamentarians, there's going to be a few senators in there too. Several parliamentarians have said there is a cloud over all of us, including Senator Percy Down.
Yeah. And I think that's part of what's really at play here, Warren. The loss of the trust in our institutions. I mean, forget the Senate. I don't think Canadians really have had much faith in the Senate for a long time, but certainly within our elected officials, our duly elected MPs, there needs to be any aspersions, any issues, those need to be wiped away. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, what is it that's holding Liberals back from doing this? Because the RCMP doing their job, that doesn't wash. What else is holding them back from putting this out there, full well knowing that it's not just their party or members of their party that might be involved?
What's holding them back is getting caught. They don't want to get caught, but they have been caught, so they may as well disclose the names. This is serious. People have been hearing about interference in our democracy for a long time. And, maybe at some point they don't understand what it means, or they kind of shrug about it, but they can't and they shouldn't. Just yesterday, it's not just politicians we're talking about here. The Washington Post reported yesterday that Iran and Russia were directly funding a so-called news operation active in North America to promote anti-Israel, anti-Semitic themes. They were paying a senior editor there. The Washington Post says, that gives you an idea of how widespread and how integrated and how complex this campaign is to influence our democracies. We need to get to the bottom of it. We've got a judicial inquiry now in Canada trying to do so, but we've got a big problem. We need to know, who's invoicing China and Russia and Iran and possibly others in our parliament and in our media newsrooms, and we don't know right now.
Last word to you, Brian. I know the infamous saying, picking up on what Warren said, follow the money. This leads to all the problem spots. But that said, the Conservatives have been very vociferous in saying, give us the names, even if it's our own, give us the names. So if it turns out, there are Conservatives on that list, which we speculate there may very well be, what type of action would Poilievre take, let's say, versus Trudeau?
I think it would probably disqualify a person from running again, which Justin Trudeau was told about concerns of the nomination of Han Dong before the election in 2021, or was it 2019? He still let him run. He knew about it, didn't do anything before the election, didn't do anything after the election, and didn't do anything until it became public. We know that there was a progressive Conservative alleged to be part of that ring. I should point out that Han Dong and Vincent Ke, the progressive Conservative at Queen's Park, have both denied any wrongdoing, but Vincent Ke was removed from the PC caucus here at Queen's Park right away. He's been sitting as an independent ever since. So there are moves that can be made. Trudeau just has refused to do them within his own party. And now they're saying, well, Poilievre should come read this report. He should get a security clearance and read this report. If he did, and he found out who was in his caucus doing this, he could not even remove them, because if he acted on the information that he has received by reading that NSICOP report, he would be jailed, as David McGuinty pointed out. You can't do anything with the information in it other than absorb it. So we're in a bizarre situation. But the Prime Minister has this information from outside of the NSICOP report. They've got it from multiple sources. They could act, but they refuse to.
Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and go to thetorontosun.com. You're going to find commentary and coverage there you will not find anywhere else.